Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the Carpuride W603, an Android Auto and CarPlay device that promises to bring modern infotainment systems to your motorcycle, no matter how old it is. If you're tired of your bike's outdated systems, or in my case, no systems, then stick around because this could be the video for you. So as you may have seen from some of my previous videos, I already own a Carpuride device. I have the W702, which is a 7-inch touchscreen device, and I've used it recently on my trip to Mull with great success. I really enjoyed using it. Carpuride have sent me this one free of charge for me to test and review, and this is the W602. Now this one's got the added benefit of a couple of cameras on it as well, front and rear, so I'm really hoping this, with the added functionality of the cameras, is pretty much the ultimate in CarPlay devices that I'm looking for. So let's get this unboxed and see what it comes with. Protective plastic film, as you always get on these. You'll get some really nice graphics on the box. Quite plain packaging. It doesn't actually say the model number anywhere, just some basic specifications on the side. Easy to install, 10 minutes to do, no skills are required. That'll suit me. We'll see if it does take 10 minutes though. We've got here Bluetooth, IP67, navigation, comes with a TF card probably inside, voice controls and music. So open up the box, come out with some really nice foam packaging. First thing to come out of the box is the device itself. That looks really good, really nice build quality. You can see on the back it's got the ball connection, which makes life a bit easier for connecting up to RAM mounts or whatever else you might already have. I have got a device that I already use for my 702 that will be fitting onto this one as well. All the wiring is included, waterproof connections, and we've also got a remote control here that goes onto the handlebar. We've also got a really nice metal clamp for your bars. That feels really solid. And also, this goes together, but this is also metal construction. No cheap plastic here. Various rubber mounts and fittings and nuts and bolts and things, and a wee screwdriver. We also have the front camera and adhesive mounts. Now we know it's front because if you look at the electrical cabling, it's all labelled up. Don't know if you can see that there. It says front channel 1. And we've also got the rear bullet camera, same sticky mounts. Notice it is actually 3M pads, which are really good. And this one says rear channel 2. Easy when you're connecting them up. We've also got the user manual here. 6.3-inch wireless CarPlay Android Auto touchscreen for motorcycles, HD 1080p cameras, Bluetooth, IP67 waterproof. So we'll have a read through this in a wee while, but it seems fairly self-explanatory. And we'll read the instructions and see how to use the remote and all these features later on. So what I'm going to do is we'll take the old 702 unit that I have on the bike off, and then we can get this installed. So the first thing we have to do is decide where we're going to mount it. So mine eventually will go up here, but for the purpose of this video I'm going to mount it just here. That way I'm using the supplied hardware you get in the box. So we'll put it on just here. So we've got a supplied clamp, a couple of rubber inserts in it. You do get a handy Allen key supplied. We'll just nip it down enough just to kind of hold it in place for the time being, and we'll tighten that up later. Okay, so what we're going to do for the time being is just temporarily mount the screen. So first we'll just put on the ball. It's a nylock nut, so it's quite tight. You can't just do it by hand. Okay, so we'll just get it sitting in approximately the right position. Now as you can see, you've got all these wires. So we've got the white one is for the controller, one yellow for the front camera, one yellow for the rear camera, and the kind of red one for power. So it's all very easy to wire up. So let's have a look at doing that next. Okay, so fitting the controller, again it's quite straightforward. You get a wee kind of screwdriver in the pack, just undo the two bolts, take the back off, put in the rubber washers and then mount it to your bike. Okay, so I'm going to fit the controller just at the side of my bars here. So I'm just going to offer it up. You need 3 hands to do this. Right, don't know if you can see that, but that's it fitted there with your 3 buttons. So it's nice and easy to press with your thumb. Right, so that's the controller on and the screen loosely mounted. We'll have a look at fitting the front and back cameras onto the bike now. Right, so my bike is a Honda CB500X and it's got a slight bill beak in the front. Now what I've done is I've had one of these mounts on before. I've got 2 small self-tapping screws in there. So I'll fit the plate with a sticky glue on there, but the self-tapper screws will also help hold it in place, because the vibrations can shake it loose sometimes. So it's up to yourself if you want to consider doing that or not. If you have a look at the sticky mount, you can see the 2 grooves on either side, and that's just where I'll put 1 screw through either side just to help hold it in place. Okay, I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but we've got the plate on there with a screw and an attachment point just there. Perfect for fitting the camera onto. Again, when you're fitting the cameras, just make sure you do put the right one in the right place, so front on front. Goes without saying. The hardest part is always getting it to catch the thread, but once you have, you can screw it in a bit easier. Just take your time, make sure you don't cross thread it. Don't worry too much about the angles and stuff at this point, because you'll need to adjust it. You might even need to rotate the camera if you find that the picture's kind of slanted to one side or other, because this just rotates in its housing. Just consider where you're going to put the cable. I've put it over my crash bar just so it's out the way. Moving on to the rear, it's exactly the same idea. I've already got one mounted here from a previous camera that's solid, so I'm not going to take this one off to replace it with one the same. There's no point doing that, but just find a flat place, give it a good clean, and then attach it down firmly. I have found that the sticky pads, it's best to heat them up a wee bit, so if you get one of these candle clicky things or a flame on it, it just heats it up and it helps it stick a bit better. Right, so let's get the rear camera. Again, same applies, don't be too worried about the angle of it just now, you can always adjust it. Right, so just a quick look at the wiring. On this one here, you've got red and yellow going to the one connection, and black. So obviously you connect these up to your batteries, or your bike battery. The only problem being is if you have it like this, as soon as you turn the ignition, as soon as you connect the bike, this to the bike, it's going to power up because your accessory is going to be live. So what I'm going to do is actually cut this and connect this yellow one to a live feed, which is switched, which I have under the seat in my CB500X, and that means when I turn the bike on, it will power up, and when I turn it off, it will shut down. So there's no chance of me leaving it on by mistake and running the battery down. So if you left it like this, you would have to physically disconnect this power connection from the screen every time you left the bike, and that would be a wee bit of an inconvenience. So if you can cut into the wire and find a switched live, that's the best way to do it. Okay, so that's it all connected up. Now for the moment of truth. Will it boot up? There you go, Carpuride. So that's now going to switch on and off every time I turn the ignition on and when I turn it off. And that's just the home screen. So this is the very first time I'm seeing this, just like yourself. I've never seen it before, but we'll do a setup video of that later on. But that screen looks really nice quality, really clear, lots of different features. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect up the wires, the rest of the wires, the cables. I'm actually going to move the screen to here. So I've got it running on my proper mount on my bar up there. just because it's much tidier than on my dash, but that's it fitted with the supplied accessories and connections. Okay, that's everything connected up. Cables are all run, so they're quite nice and neat. So we turn the ignition on, give it a second or two, and the device boots up. Now you can see when it loads up to the standard home screen. Now the camera you can see here is the rear camera pointing into my shed, and if I swipe on my finger it moves to the front camera. If I want to view both of them at once, I just tap it and I can see both sides at once. And I've got various options along the bottom for the home screen, taking photographs and sending it to my phone and such like. We'll go to the home screen. Now if I want to connect this to my phone for CarPlay, so I'll click CarPlay. It's telling me to turn on Bluetooth and search for the device. So I'll go into my Bluetooth. My phone's currently searching and I can see it there. So if I tap on the device to save it, now it's giving me a pairing code. 157658, so I'll press pair, giving you other options like syncing your syncing your contacts across, and there we go. It's gone on to CarPlay. So that is Apple Music that I was listening to a wee while ago. If I press this button down here, that is my CarPlay home screen, just the same as you would get in any other device, with all the apps that I use on my phone, and I can swipe across. It's just starting to rain here, and this is the main home screen where it's got my sat nav option, my calendar, my music. So my sat nav I use Scenic, so I can tap Scenic and it'll bring it up full screen, and that's quite a good size to read. So what we'll do is we'll get out on the road, we'll give it a test and we'll see what it looks like out on the road. But that's the basic setup install of the W602 with the front and rear facing cameras. We'll cover the home button and remote at a later day. The Carpuride W603 features a 6.3 inch HD touchscreen, providing a clear and responsive interface. It's designed to work with both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, meaning it supports voice commands, navigation, music streaming and more. The W603 has an IP67 waterproof rating, meaning you never have to be worried about getting caught out in the rain again. The front and rear facing cameras begin to record automatically when the device powers on, providing you with the peace of mind knowing that should you be involved in an accident, you will have footage available to show you are not at fault. Please join me in the next video where we see the W603 in action and review the features.